If you need a good cry, these books will get you, although I will warn you, they might make you feel worse. Starting off with Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my gosh, Andy? I just noticed that Andy Ware has a quote on the back. Taylor Jenkins Reid is so good at creating a themed book. All of her books have a very, very strong aura and aesthetic to them. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is like early Hollywood vintage vibe. Daisy Jones and the Six is banned in the 70s. This is 1980s NASA. Our main character, Joan, is one of the first women accepted into this astronaut program. Her dream is to be an astronaut and to be one of the first people to go to space. She's really smart. She gets accepted into this program where she kind of lives and works on the NASA base. I don't even know if that's what you would call it. The setting is kind of college-esque because she's living and learning and working in this environment that's very close-knit, and so all the people that she's training with, she becomes very close with, one of which is Vanessa. Joan and Vanessa kind of start to feel things for each other. This is a very recurring theme in the books I talk about, is just not being able to be with the person you love. There's a lot of themes at play in this book because we have, on one hand, Joan battling the gender stereotypes in this entire industry that is all men, and she's one of the first women. And then we also have her battling the feelings she has for Vanessa, which are not allowed on so many levels because they work together. They're both women, and they're both in this space where women already have to try 10 times harder to be successful. They absolutely do not want to sacrifice that position. So there's a lot at stake. There's a lot of tension and turmoil, but at the same time, the successes just feel that much more rewarding. Before I read this, so many people were telling me, like, Macy, you're gonna cry and it's gonna destroy you at the end. And I got like 75% through and I was like, I'm so invested, but I'm not gonna cry. Like, it's just not, I don't really see it happening for me. And then when I was finishing the book, I was sitting on my floor looking at the book like this, reading it, and I was crying so hard that I couldn't like see through the tears that were coming out of my face. So I was wrong. I think you should also read this because it would be fun to see if you actually would cry too. You know, a little test for yourself. Next, Go as a River. Now, this book is very near and dear to me because it takes place in Colorado, which is where I'm from. You rarely ever see books taking place in Colorado, so I picked this up when I went back for a week and I was like, oh, it'll be like a fun little read. I'll just like be in Colorado reading a cute little book in Colorado. No. Girl, no. This book takes place over quite a few years, but it starts off in 1948. Our main character, Victoria, is about 17 years old, I'm pretty sure. She lives with her dad, her brother, and her uncle. Basically, all the women in her life died, and so now it's just, she's the only woman, so she's kind of the one making all the food for the men and taking care of the house, even though she is the youngest one in the household. Her brother is also just a raging racist and awful human being. One day Victoria is out in the town and she meets this man named Wilson Moon. He's described as a brown man. We're not exactly sure what race he is because everyone has a very quite awful perspective on what he might be and they're just kind of throwing out slurs. Pretty sure he's Native American. It's never really confirmed. Because all the men in her life are quite heartless and cold, he's the first man she meets that's actually got a heart. And he's adorable and he's sweet and the town treats him so badly, but he kind of sees something in her, she sees something in him, and they very quickly fall in love. But because her brother is awful and because the whole town is awful and will not accept him, she has to form this like secret relationship with him. It lasts a few weeks, I think, and then one day he goes missing and a few days later they find his body in the lake. And it's discovered that he was very brutally killed, and Victoria is pretty sure that her brother had something to do with it. To make things worse, she also finds out that she's pregnant with his child. So of course she's like, I can't have his child. Like, my brother killed him. He's gonna kill me next. So she's freaking out. She decides to basically pack up her life and move to the mountains to live in this little like shed hut thing, and she gives unmedicated birth to her son by herself in this hut in the mountains and tries to raise him by herself. This book ends in 1971, so we span about 30 years. So you see her through a lot of different phases of her life, and a very recurring theme is her relationship with women and how much these other women she knows hold her up and truly are the backbone of her life. The female friendships are just so meaningful to this story. Kind of a random recommendation, What My Mother and I Don't Talk About, which is a collection of essays from 15 different writers. I just remember like every single story somehow I related to. I think it's just a universal thing for all women to have somewhat of a complicated relationship with their mom at some point in their life. This book just hits all of that. There are some stories that are really heartbreaking, some that are really endearing. The mother-daughter relationship is really hard to label, to explain, to define. And this book is really comforting. There's definitely a few stories in there that will make you cry. Guys, I'm sorry. Take a shot every time I talk about this book. I will just say that I recently reread this book for the second time. I've been scared, but I was finally ready. I just got this septum piercing, so I was like, okay, I actually can't cry because I'm not dealing with all that with this right now. So I powered through. I finished it in a day, and I got to the end and I was like, don't cry. Don't let the tears out. And girl, I was heaving sobs, and that was me trying not to cry. There's just something about the way she sets up this book. I'm gonna cry right now, just thinking about it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, but I don't even want to talk about it. It's just so good. If you want to cry, if you want a good cry, read this freaking book, and you'll probably cry for days, okay? I need closure from this book. I need it. Also, if any of you have read Writers and Lovers, also by this author, it low-key connects to that book, okay? It's a little bit of a part 2, okay? Last, this is the first book that ever made me cry, okay? Kind of basic, everyone talks about it, The Song of Achilles. Yes, I did bedazzle it. For those of you that don't know, this is a modern retelling of the Iliad, aka Achilles' story, but it's from Patroclus's perspective. Patroclus is this young boy who is exiled from his family and sent to live with Achilles and his family. Basically, Achilles and Patroclus grow up together, they fall in love. The way that it's told is very accessible. It's also just a very raw and vulnerable portrayal of young love. It's definitely a cult classic, it's a TikTok book, but like, hey, it's a TikTok book for a reason, okay? It's tragic, it's romantic, it's redeemable. I hope y'all read those books and have a good cry because it'll feel so good. Follow me on Goodreads.